So I was a vegetarian for about 8 years, but about 15 years ago. So it was when I was living in Glasgow, and I made the decision that I didn't like the way the meat industry treated animals, which I think is the reason a lot of people become vegetarians. And then I realized that living in Glasgow and being a vegetarian and being a student at the time, it wasn't particularly straightforward for me to be able to get a good, healthy, balanced diet. I think it's fair to say that I did do a particularly fine line in pasta and butter and sage, which was one of my vegetarian meals of choice. Glasgow at that point was not a massively vegetarian-friendly city. Glasgow has got probably an unfair reputation for not really understanding what vegetables and fruit is. I think that's certainly changed. It's become quite a foodie city, and it's, yeah, the food in Glasgow excites me now. But yeah, I made the decision, quite a difficult decision, to not be a vegetarian anymore, but actually look at animal welfare, look at the food I was choosing, look at the meat I was choosing, and yeah, switched away. And one of my main reasons for that was fake meat. At that point, closest thing that we had to fake meat was Quorn and Linda McCartney sausages. And I just remember that the day I made my choice was frying up some sausages for my ex, and I was making Quorn sausages, and mine went from a shade of pink to vaguely less pink, and hers were frying and wonderfully. They were really nice sausages from a local butcher. Mine cost the same as hers, and I just thought, actually, I know the source of this meat, I know it's been well looked after. Why am I sacrificing myself when actually I could be thinking more carefully about the meat I was eating? And so, fast forward to today, my wife accidentally ordered meat-free meals. Well, that's not true, that's not fair. We often get meat-free meals from HelloFresh and from Gousto, but this was the first time that she ordered, what were they called? She ordered mince bulgogi and spicy carrot pickle, which sounds really nice. And then when we received it, we looked at it and realized it was meat-free mince bulgogi and spicy carrot pickle. So this is the first time I've had meat substitute since I stopped being a vegetarian. And I just thought it might be interesting actually to see how far it's come. And we're going to do a bit of a taste test, because we did actually, and I know this isn't going to please any vegetarians, but we bought some actual mince so that we can try the two and see whether there's any real difference between it. So we're going to cook this. This is a recipe from Gousto. If you've seen on my channel before, I've done a comparison of Gousto and HelloFresh. It's really interesting. A lot of things that I previously said were wrong with either one of them, they've now kind of become more in line, so they're a much more similar offering now. Maybe it's time to do an updated version of it. Let's have a cook along and let's see what we make. So yeah, so it's got the microwavable basmati rice. That's our meatless, meat-free mince. What's in this meat-free mince actually? It is soya, rice and pea proteins. And it looks actually not super dissimilar to meat. It's a lot different from quorn mince that I used to get, which basically looked like, you know, that shredded cardboard packaging that you used to put in the bottom of boxes to be able to keep things safe. Yeah, this actually looks like mince. It looks like it'll cook up like mince. So let's make it and let's see what happens. So in this household, my wife hates grating. It is her most hated job. So my job is going to be to grate the carrots while, what are you going to be doing?
I'm going to steam the rice.
Is that a hard job?
You put it in the microwave.
Yeah, so, yeah, fair division of labour there. Yeah. Pip, sit down, pour, good girl. Pip's favourite treat in the whole wide world is bits of carrot. What's that? Normal for a Jack Russell. All gone, Wiggle. Maybe more later. You're making this look much harder than it needs to. Well done. What are you doing now? What are you doing?
What?
What are you doing?
I'm putting the carrot in a bowl.
And what happens to the carrot?
And I'm mixing sriracha and rice vinegar and some sugar and some water.
What does that make?
Pickled carrot.
Spicy pickled carrot.
Yeah.
The rice is done. That was more than a tablespoon. I am now wilting spinach. Steamy lenses. Turns out you shouldn't hold your lens over steam. Who knew? Everybody's favourite. Spring onion.
So it's saying slice them quite big there, but we don't like that, so I'm going to go against the recipe.
It's a very nice knife you're using there.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lovely knife.
Who made that?
Oh, I don't know. Who made that?
You made that.
Oh yeah, I made that. There is a video on my channel about how to make that knife. Got a sink full of baby's bottles ready for sorting, and apparently this is how we now do this. Run cold water into there, and then I squeeze all the water out of this. Guess you might want to chop it up slightly. Doesn't say to. How does it smell?
A lot. Definitely looks like meat.
Yeah.
No, it breaks up a little bit more. It looks more like those frozen mince.
Yeah, looks like frozen mince. Said cook until browned,
Kind of,
crispy a bit.
I mean, it's definitely changed colour,
Yeah,
but it's got pinker rather than browner, hasn't it?
yeah. Right, so I had been hoping for a slightly more of a possible blind taste test, but it's quite obvious that they look quite different. It was interesting, actually. Like, it didn't really cook like mince. It looked like mince, I was convinced. And then when you start cooking it, it absorbed all the oil immediately, and it did that thing of going from pink to slightly less pink. Right, you trying first or am I trying first?
Both trying.
Okay, both trying. Right, which one are we going to try first?
I'll do meatless, haven't we?
Yeah. All right. Trying to hold the camera and... Okay, the dog doesn't want any. So that's not a good sign. The dog would normally have hoovered that.
It's fun. I didn't much, but
Yeah. doesn't taste like meat. So that was one of my other issues is, if I'm choosing not to eat meat, why do I want to eat something that looks and smells and tastes like meat? The meat one tastes better. I'm not gonna lie. That definitely tastes better.
I think it's taken on the flavours a bit better than meat.
Yeah. The flavours come through much better in the meat one. But having said that, I wouldn't be upset if we got another meat-free one, if we got another meat replacement. I'd be quite interested to see actually how different types of meat replacements. So mince, I think mince is quite difficult to replicate. I'm really keen. I want to try one of the Beyond Burger burgers, the Beyond Meat burgers. I think you can now get them in supermarkets, so I might have to try that. I do love a good burger, so maybe that'll be something to try. But yeah, essentially things have come a long way since I stopped being vegetarian, and I definitely would give this another go. I think I've just got out of the habit of cooking meat replacement, and so actually there are certain things that you have to remember to cook it in different ways, and that was something I learned, that then when I went from being vegetarian to non-vegetarian, I had to remember how to cook meat again. Yeah, I hope that was, I don't know whether it was insightful, helpful, useful. Really hope I don't get negative comments from vegetarians telling me that I'm being a bad person, because like, I get it. I'm on your side. I'm also aware of the health issues that I had having been a vegetarian. But that was being a student in a city that was, at that point, non-vegetarian friendly. Yeah, other than 13th Note Cafe. If you're in Glasgow, I don't know if that still exists, but 13th Note Cafe, big shout out. They were a fantastic vegan restaurant. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to. Slightly odd one for this week, but just thought it might be interesting. And thank you. Bye-bye.